Boom. Welcome back, everybody, to the Omniverse Comics Guide podcast. We are your Omniverse Comics Guide guys. I'm Eric. That's my pal Dave. Dave,
Hello.
how, how the hell are you?
Well, not only am I hell, dude, but I've been playing with this little bot here. This is one of my kids' Transformers, but they all turn. There's a random series they did, but they all turn into like household objects you can get from a mall. I believe that's the international term. But look at him there. Look, he's perfectly fine, isn't he? But then Lex was trying to transform him, and his armor came off, and I'm a bit concerned.
That's a very interesting transformer.
Yeah.
Bot.
Corn on the knob. I don't know what he's I don't know what he's actually called, but I thought, you know what? Let's keep him just in robot mode, and he turns into an innocuous
keep the armor
corn on the cob. Look at that. Not remotely.
All right, I like it.
There's no safe mode.
Toys you get your kids.
What's the age on that?
Learning your food groups, and your bots.
With your bots.
How
about yourself, dude? What you been reading?
Well, in the pre-taping of the show, we were talking about Dr. Fate from JMD, Keith Giffen, and Sean McManus, which has been very interesting and a lot of fun. I love that they are putting together, like, this year's been a really good year for fans like myself of J.M. DeMatteis, because they're putting out a bunch of his collections that either haven't been collected before or have been off of the shelf for a little bit. So this one was on our list for our previous episode of this title. So I'm excited to see what we talk about today, what might be on the episode. But before we get into that, I got to handle business.
Oh,
everybody who's with us on Twitch, everybody who's watching with us on Twitch, we appreciate you tuning in with us and chilling out live with us. We appreciate all the time. Those who are watching on YouTube, hit that rate and subscribe button. We appreciate you there as well. And if you're listening on any podcast platform, give us a thumbs up, a subscribe, a comment. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Share it. It helps. And of course, most importantly, omniversecomics.guide. Let me say it one more time. omniversecomics.guide for your reading orders, your podcast, your collector item specials, interviews with creators. We've just had one with Ron Friends. It was a lot of fun. Just recently posted. Check it out. omniversecomics.guide. Most wanted DC Omnis and Compendiums. DC, I feel, has done a very good job at putting together compendiums and putting out Omnis that have been like, why haven't they made this yet?
Yeah.
Like, they're starting to get around to doing some cool stuff. Do you think their compendiums are?
I think to a degree it's almost too good, because it's quite hard to keep up at this point. It's almost like they're playing catch up, and I'm kind of having to be very careful.
Yeah,
which is a bit of a 100%. Shame, but I don't want to complain, because we're getting the stuff we've been looking for all this time.
Yeah. For fans abroad, like, if there's something that you've liked before that's never been reprinted or hard to collect, they're getting around to it. And if you can't afford it all, it's okay, because they're going to make the thing that you really want at some point, it seems like.
Yeah.
So, save your money and be judicious with what it is you're buying, because even making this list, I'm like, well, they made that.
Yeah.
That's coming out.
It's a little tough, isn't it? Like, what's left that's of note?
Which makes it interesting.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I will say there's a couple
choices
that I went back on the list of our previous times where I'm like, well, that hasn't happened yet, and I really want that one. So if we keep repeating one or two, it might happen.
Just make all five that one you really want. Just make all 5 Man of Steel, dude.
It might. I just might do it. Whose turn is it this time?
I think it's me. I've got a theme tonight.
Ooh.
Huh? You like that? You like that?
Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot.
So my theme is I'm going to pick something from 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
I love it. What a great idea. I should have thought of that.
There's so much to choose from still, but
it makes it a lot
I could
easier
make it all 80s, or I could make it. So I thought, like, no, think about what you did. So there should be a nice little variety, but it's going to be a little bit. It's going to be a little on the left field, but go with it.
I bet, with your 70s and Bronze Age stuff that you like, you weirdo. All right, do it. Let's
Weirdo
take
is
it away.
accurate. So my first choice tonight is Unknown Soldier. So I'm not really a war comics kind of guy, but there's what is it not on your? It's
I
on your
love.
list.
How did you know that I've always wanted Unknown Soldier,
Are you
the
for
one from the
real?
'60s?
All of it. Is it on your list?
No, I'm just the way you said it's left field. So bear with me. As soon as you said Unknown Soldier, I'm like, yeah, it's left field.
Oh, is that okay? But I
Yeah.
do want
No,
it.
no, you didn't steal
So
it. Yeah, no, go for it.
I'm not a war comics kind of guy, really. I can't be bothered. They all just seem a bit the same to me a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I don't know what it is about it. It feels a bit like a superhero vibe because it's got the masked element and you don't know who he actually is. Because, you know, he's unknown, isn't he? Originally created by Rob Kanigher and Joe Kubert, there was a character who appeared as the Unknown Soldier in Our Army at War number 168, and he only appeared once and he dies. Spoiler alert. Then they kind of brought the character back in Star Spangled War Stories, and then a few issues in, like 7 issues in, they retell the ending of that other story so that he survived. So it's the same character. And then that ran through the 60s for quite some time. So there's going to have to be a series of Omnis. So I'm not necessarily as fussed about the 60s era stuff, but I'm going to want a complete collection, and the book that would come after that would be the Unknown Soldier title onwards. So for Volume 1, it would be Our Army at War number 168, and Star Spangled War Stories 151 to 204, and then Volume 2 would be 205, which is the Unknown Soldier, because Star Spangled War Stories changed title to Unknown Soldier from that point on. They could go up from there, and then I'd really, really like if they could do the Vertigo stuff as well. Some of that was by Garth Ennis. It was a 4-issue miniseries at least. Yeah, there's always been something that's kind of fascinated me about this character, and I don't know much, I don't know enough, and I want it collected so I can find out more. So that's my slightly left field first choice for tonight.
Always can count on you for that stuff that I would have never imagined that I might want.
Huh.
There you go. The magic of Dave. Okay.
I'm your genie. Rub me hard.
So I'm not sure with my first pick. It's something that I have been thinking about, but I actually looked up today what it would collect, and I imagine I don't even want to know. I want to imagine what was said to you in the chat. I imagine that this is going to be made at some point with the other things that have been compendiumed and omnified, if you will. This just seems like a kind of an obvious pick for DC as far as the creator is concerned, the character, and that is Power of Shazam.
Oh, yeah.
Issues 1 to 47, as well as the 100-page graphic novel written by Jerry Ordway. So it came out in this hardcover, which I invested in because it was book 1.
Yeah.
And they were 12 issues through 400-page. The first volume was 400 pages. The second volume, they released it in softcover. Why would you do that?
I don't know
Because there
why
isn't
I
a
would do
soft
that.
cover. There's no soft cover option for the first volume for you to transition to your collection. Now, some people might say, "Who cares?" Once upon a time, I didn't. Now it really bothers me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It bothers me.
I feel that this particular era of the Power of Shazam is what the title of the series was called. 1 to 47, all written by Jerry Ordway.
Yeah.
He does some art throughout it. The artist is Peter Krause,
Yes.
which I don't know him from many other things, but he's a consistent collaborator throughout this series as well. I just don't know why they haven't done this yet, especially having put out 2 movies. I don't know if it has anything to do with the Captain Marvel issue, because this is Captain Marvel, not Shazam as he's known today.
In the interiors, yeah.
Yeah. So when he says Shazam to become Captain Marvel, I don't know if there's an issue with that, but
If they produce those, there's no issue with it.
exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So let's get on with it. Let's put out this compendium. Jerry Ordway's a seasoned veteran at both art and writing. He's had a long, extended time on Superman. This was his 47-issue run of Power of Shazam, and it's probably the most complete, I guess, run of this character, because they've attempted to do relaunches and different takes on, the Marvel family and whatnot, and
Yeah.
they're okay. But
Well,
47 issues. Let's see what it was about.
interestingly enough, when they first brought Captain Marvel into the DC universe properly after Crisis, check out our Crisis Infinite Earths reading order for more on
Nice
the other
plug.
event. Thank you.
Omniverse Comics.
Nice plug. I didn't think you'd be able to see it from from there. But yeah, when they first introduced him, it was in a 4-issue miniseries by Roy Thomas. But that
Right.
was then kind of considered out of continuity almost immediately. And then they did, a couple of years later, they did that graphic novel, which kind of then defined his origin for the DCU. Yeah. And then we got this series. It did end up being cancelled. I don't know if it's kind of incomplete feeling by the end or not. I don't think it is, but there are some crossovers in there as well. There's a Starman crossover, and you've got your DC 1 million stuff as well. So it'd be a nice. I think they could do that in one book.
Yeah, that definitely could make a compendium. So that's what I'm hoping comes into print sometime soon.
Excellent choice.
We could do it, guys. We could do it.
We could do it. Gotta believe.
You gotta do what? I gotta believe.
My second choice tonight is from the 1970s, the Bronze Age DC, and it's OMAC. The character was created by Jack Kirby. OMAC stands for One Man Army Corps. It's a kind of robot dude with a mohawk who can fight real well. I still haven't read the original series, but there's always been something about. I was going to wear my OMAC shirt tonight for this reason. There's always been something about this that's really appealed to me. I've read the DC Comics Presents number 61 issue where he teams up with Superman, which was really cool. I think that was drawn by George Perez. But if they collected the OMAC 8-issue miniseries, DC Comics Presents 61, Commandy 49 to 50 and 59, and the backup stories from Warlord 37 to 39 and 42 to 47. And do you know what? Do you know what they could do? They could chuck in that John Byrne 4-issue miniseries from the early 90s as well, which kind of redefined his origin after Crisis on Infinite Earths. I'd be a happy little camper.
Nice. OMAC. Bronze Age.
Yeah.
I don't know why you haven't gotten a job yet as a, what do they call them?
Huge nerd? A mapper. Oh.
A mapper. Your favorite word. Oh, the reading orders that you put together for these omnis and compendiums that don't exist, I'm pretty sure are done in a way that these companies would appreciate. Hey, that's a good idea to do it like that. But maybe they know they have someone who tells them already, but
maybe
whatever.
Yeah.
They don't do it.
Or maybe they can just go on omniversecomics.guide and read it for free and not have to pay someone.
Dave, I'm trying to get you a job here, dude.
Oh, sorry, man.
Work with me.
Sorry.
All right. My second one, I don't, the way it's going, this might be something that I steal from you.
Oh.
I'm going into the 80s. 1983. Do you have anything from 83?
Oh, maybe.
Ooh. Should I leave it for you?
No, tell me.
I don't want to steal from you.
I'll sort a backup if it is the same. I can sort one really quickly.
All right.
I think.
I don't know anything about this book. Completely blind.
It's so
37 issues?
No.
Is this the one?
No.
Okay. This is 37 issues. I'm not sure if it ended with the story finishing it off, like it ended with an ending, but it's Omega Men.
Of course.
Omega Men 1983. I think it had a different, what did they call it? Trade stock? It was kind of like the way.
I think it was like the Baxter stock paper. So it was direct
yeah,
market.
It was a little. Yeah, exactly. It had that sort of printing to it. It started with, I think, Roger Stilfer as the writer. Keith Giffen originally on for pencils. And then it was Todd Smith. My eyes are going.
Sean McManus does some of the art later on as well, yeah.
Roger Slifer. It looks like silver, but it's
Slifer.
Slifer, maybe. Yes, that's better.
Oh, like I'm the expert on how to pronounce people's names.
We're going to go with yours. So
first.
I remember it being listed as coming out. Like it was solicited a couple years ago. And I think I pre-ordered it. And it never came to fruition. For whatever reason, I'm not sure if it had something to do with the pandemic and things being put on hold or whatever the case might have been. But it was supposed to come out a few years ago. And I was looking forward to it just because I had liked the Omega Men that Tom King had written, the 12-issue series. The premise of like the setting and the cosmic of all of it. I don't know if this series is similar in any way to that, but it's also like the the place where Lobo was introduced. So there's some key moments in this series that it would have been cool to kind of like read this little odd pocket of DC history. So Omega Men, 1983 series, 37 issues, may or may not have finished, or may have been canceled.
I think it was cancelled.
I don't know
I've
if
read towards the end.
You have read this?
I have read some of it. I'm going to go back and read the beginning because there are crossover elements. But I read some of the latter stuff because it ties into Crisis. But it's an era where DC are really unforgiving and don't do recap pages.
Oh, wow.
So I'm reading it going, I don't know who anyone is at this point. So I think if you're reading it from the beginning, it probably makes more sense. But I was literally reading it going, and I'm having to just research it and try and find reference. It was a tricky one.
Yeah.
But I think it's just one of those things where I wasn't there for the beginning. So I'm going to go back and check. But they could include some of the earlier appearances as well from Green Lantern, because they do appear in Green Lantern a few times first.
Yeah, and I think with 37 issues, there's space there's room for a compendium size where you get, a 45 issue count.
Easy.
And get a good chunk of original Omega Men. I like that.
So my number 3 is a 1980s choice, and it's one that would have made more sense to release maybe 2 years ago, but there's no reason why they can't release it like now. It's Vigilante by Marv Wolfman, most of the art's by Paul Kupperberg. The character initially appears in New Teen Titans, so they could include in this one New Teen Titans 23, 26 to 30, 33 to 34, and 42, which kind of happens a bit later. New Teen Titans Annual 2. Vigilante's in a 50-issue series, and you've got Annual 1 and 2, and you've got an appearance by a third Vigilante in DC Comics Presents 92, because it seems like the identity's dropped and picked up at various times during the series. There's almost a little bit of a fool killer element to Vigilante, but even though the costume looks ridiculous, there's something that always appealed to me about it. If you haven't seen the cover of Vigilante Annual Number 2 by Brian Bolland, it looks silly but cool, and I've been fascinated by that cover for years, and I always went through Vigilante because of it. Yeah, it's like somewhere between Fool Killer and Punisher, I think. So he is literally a Vigilante, but he's a judge, or I don't know if he's initially a lawyer or someone higher up than that, but I think eventually in the issues I've read that tied into Crisis, he was a judge. So
kind of like a Judge Dredd character?
No, he's an actual judge in the courts.
Okay.
Yeah, in the laws and the orders. But then he's trying to juggle with this multiple personality, as they called it at the time, problem where he would then kill criminals by night as a vigilante. So, of course, now he's a bit more famous in a very different way, because he's not a lawyer or judge or whatever in the Peacemaker TV series, and it's a bit more of a comedic character. So it's not really the original Vigilante at all. It's not really based on that. It's just got the name and a bit of the look. But I've always been a bit of a fan of the Punisher. I like that kind of thing. It's a bit weird to go like, I'm going to wear a costume, but I'm also just going to kind of kill people randomly and somehow get away with it in a universe of costume people. So yeah, a bit of a strange one. Marv Wolfman, the more I read of Marv Wolfman, the less sure I am. Very strange. I think if he's paired with the right person, George Perez, it works. If he's not, it's very odd stuff, strange choices. But still, I would gladly take a two-volume compendium or omnibus set. Do you have a preference, by the way, for omnis or compendii?
I think it might depend on what's being collected.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
Yeah, no, that makes sense, because it might be that because they're cheaper normally for the compendiums, aren't they? And you might go, I'd buy that as a compendium, but I wouldn't shell out for an omnibus. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that.
Or am I putting words in your mouth, mate?
No, that's pretty close to it. There's certain things that I would give a chance to because it's in a compendium format that I might not otherwise want to invest in.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Like, I think that to a degree, I think certain formats suit certain. It's like not everything can be an absolute. Like, not everything is designed to be read that way.
No.
Not to say that they intend to, but you can kind of read a story the first time and say, yeah, when that gets into Absolute, like, oh my goodness. I don't think of the Chuck Dixon Nightwing run as something that needs to be hard covered and deluxe as the biggest page in the world, but I do like the idea of it being in a compendium to read that whole series.
Yeah.
Right?
So tonight we're going to look at what's old to the Omniverse with some DC reading orders. For DC Comics events, our top 5 is... At number 5, dive into the prequel to Shadow War with our Lazarus Tournament crossover. Number 4, 2024's Beast World crossover with the Titans. At number 3, DC vs. Marvel breaks down the 1996 event, including all the amalgam tie-ins from that year. At number 2, City of Bane sees another Fall of the Batman. And our number 1 DC event, the Superman event from 2021, the Warworld Saga. Top 5 DC character reading orders. Number 5, the complete Creature Commandos reading order covering their 1980s debut up to the present. 4, you can jump forward to the New 52 era with our Wonder Woman reading order covering 2011 to 2016. At 3, the Marvel vs. DC Comics reading order, which includes every event from 1976 upwards. At number 2, head back to the beginning for Batman with the Origins Part 1 reading order covering Year 1 to the Long Halloween. And at number 1, surprisingly, the Authority with their Wildstorm Years reading order covering 1999 to 2011.
Check out those reading orders. They are second to none. Back to the countdown?
Let's do it.
All right. So recently, I received my first... It's not the first collection from this era, but it was labeled a Rebirth Omnibus.
Okay.
So that was the Nightwing Rebirth Omnibus.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see which other Rebirth titles they're going to put out in that format. The one that I would really want, and I might have mentioned this before, is Dan Abnett's Aquaman.
Ooh.
I just want the Dan Abnett stuff. I don't need whatever comes after it. I want the Rebirth era, issues I think 1 to 42. There's a variety of artists, but I enjoyed the art throughout what I've read. I think I read up to issue 26 or 30. And I was collecting them in trade, and I said, when this is done, I'm going to collect the whole thing. Like I'm invested in. I still haven't gotten rid of my trades yet, because if I ever do get the urge to read them again or have a need to read them, they're there until it comes out in an omnibus, which I think it will, because this is really good stuff. Dan Abnett's a great writer. Have you read any of this stuff?
A chunk of it. I've read the bit from the end of the New 52 series, which leads into the Rebirth stuff, because Dan Abnett jumped on a little early. And I've read the first 2 or 3 storylines, but then I thought, I've got a weird feeling they're going to release this as an omnibus, so I'm just going to wait, and I'm still waiting. I think there are some crossover bits as well, but yeah, I think he leaves partway through the Rebirth series, like you said. But yeah, I've been waiting for them to do this for a while, and I keep thinking it's just going to happen. It's any day now.
Any day now. I mean, with the night, I'll get into it later, perhaps in the year, in regards to the Nightwing omnibus, because it was released this year. I enjoyed the way that was collected, and I'm hoping that if they do the Aquaman, it'll be as complete. It may not be relevant if I bring this up again later, but the Nightwing omnibus actually collects more than what's listed.
Does it?
Yeah, quite a bit more. It's very complete. So I'm hoping that these Rebirth, I say all of that about Nightwing, not because it's my choice, but it's because if they make it as complete as they did with that one, do that with Aquaman, we're going to get some nice collections.
Okay. My number 4, my 90s choice, I'm going for an event. Now, there's a fair chance this will actually end up being released as a DC Finest multi-chapter volume thing, because they're doing a lot of that at the moment. So my choice is Underworld Unleashed, the 1995 Mark Waid Howard Porter crossover. I skipped it while I was doing my read-through. I read a couple of issues and went, nah, because I kind of wanted to get through that mid-90s bit, because it was a bit of a mix in there. You can tell there's some good stuff. It wasn't essential, but ever since skipping it, I've regretted it, because I do want to go back and read it. It revolves around Neron. He's basically their version of Satan himself. He offers powers or various different things to members of the DC Universe, predominantly the villains. He does also offer things like reviving Jason Todd back to Batman. So he's bounding around offering stuff out to people. Like he's king of the world, or king of the underworld. And some take his offer up and some don't. So you'll get some character changes, like, for example, some villains will power up. Like Killer Moth was a bloke dressed a bit like a moth, but by the end of it, he looks like a monstrous moth creature. Black Manta goes through a change which maybe wasn't as popular. So some of it's a bit... But hey, it's fun, silliness, 90s, weirdness. So it's not all going to be gold. But I want to read this event because I love villain-centric events. I love it when you get so many bad guys involved and maybe you power some up or you switch out who they're fighting and all that kind of stuff, like Acts of Vengeance and Forever Evil, those kind of events. And this is one of those, and I want to give it a shot. And that's my choice for number 4.
My number 4. I own these books, but I don't know why they haven't made it an omnibus. They went all in to do 3 hardcovers. It's a 1980 series, Batman and the Outsiders. I have all 3. It's Mike W. Barr with Jim Aparo on art and Alan Davis later on the artwork.
Cool.
So just off of the creator teams, it'd be cool to own. It is a comic book of its time. I love it. I actually enjoy the Batman pre-crisis as well as Batman post-crisis, but I enjoy Batman, seeing him in the old school costume with the the blue cowl and cape, and I appreciate that era of Batman.
Yeah, me too.
This is, I think, 36 issues. If memory serves, the 3rd volume goes to issue 36. Make it an omnibus. It's Batman. It's him leading his own team off the beaten path a little bit. Cool new characters. There's a certain cheese element to it, which is part of its charm, but it's also pretty cool stories.
Yeah.
Cool creative team. Great artwork. It has some crossover elements with the Teen Titans. And
yes. You're right.
And I think a lot of people would buy this omnibus. Just Batman completists would want it.
Definitely. Yeah, and Alan Davis completists.
There you go. And I mean, Jim Aparo, as far as Batman artists go, he's up there with some of the best. So you're going to get quality. Yeah, check it out. It's an international Batman team too. That's the cool thing about it. Like they're not just stateside.
No. You get Katana.
Yeah.
Geo-Force, though I thought that was one of the worst names for any character.
A little bit, but you also get that crossover element with Terra, right? Because Geo-Force is her older brother.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
So there's a cool little Teen Titan Batman and the Outsider crossover. Let's do it. Let's make it. They're going to make it.
Do you know, that's been on my list for the past 2 years. This would have been year 3. This is year 3, and I didn't mention it.
Oh, wow.
I went with Vigilante instead. Right, my number 5 is a tricky one because it was released by DC Vertigo. So this is the 2000s choice. It's kind of available. What do you call it when it's public? Oh, public domain. It's public domain now, I think. So I don't know how the hell this would work. But it was originally DC Vertigo. It's Fables. I mean, the list of stuff that could be included in this is massive. So they've done a Compendium set, which was a box set.
Yes.
And then they launched the series again after that for a bit. And then Bill Willingham had his whole issues with DC. And then he basically went, screw everyone. I'm going to make it available to all. So do what you want. If anyone wants to do new stories with the characters, just do it. But I don't know how that works for the old stories. I don't know enough about it. But if they did a series of Omnis that did it all in order, that would be pretty amazing, to have all those, because you get loads of Untold Tales and spin-off series and so on and so forth. Because you have got, I'm going to list them all, right, I think. So you've got Fables 1 to 162, 1001 Nights of Snowfall, The Last Castle, Werewolves of the Heartland, Cinderella from Fabletown with Love miniseries, Cinderella Fables of Forever miniseries, Ever After from the page of Fables 1 to 12, Fairest 1 to 33, Jack of Fables 1 to 50, The Literals 1 to 3, The Wolf Among Us 1 to 16, Batman and Big B Wolf in Gotham 1 to 6, which would mean it would pretty much have to be done by DC unless someone else was right to pick that up. You've also got the prose novel Peter and Max, but I mean, you get lots of other little prose stories within Fables, so in theory they could include that as well. Why not? But yeah, I'm not asking for much, just all that. In chronological order, please. I was actually planning on doing a Fables reading order, obviously, but the Fables books were a gift to my now ex, and she's got them. So I'm not going to say anything else that might incriminate me. No opinions here. Meat Trunks just said, "Is Jack of Fables any good?" No, it's not great. However, there is a character called Babe the Blue Ox who is Paul Bunyan's ox, and those pages are the best. They're so good. He does these little pages where he imagines other stuff he'd like to do or stories he'd like to tell, and they're so good. The rest of the series is a bit odd, but are the spin-offs any good? Some are, but the main series is really what it's about. Let's face it. Some of those one-shots are really nice. Like the 1001 Nights of Snowfall is a lovely book. It's really nice. But I mean, like The Wolf Among Us takes place before Fables itself, which was based on the game, the Telltale game, which was like a phone-based one, basically. And you could play that, and it kind of explained who a lot of the characters were, so it could kind of get you into reading the comics. The main series, though, is fantastic, and it's well worth a read. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. My number 5. I didn't make a Dave-style reading order, but I put together the issues that it would include.
Let's hear it, man.
So, since this is the season of Superman, this is my Superman Omnibus. Had to make one. What is it we don't have? We don't have the Return from Exile era of Superman. That takes place just before the Triangle stuff. And there's some really key, important issues here that we got to collect and put them in an omnibus. Has to be an omnibus now, since we've got Exile in omnibus. This would be a perfect in-between filler to get to the Triangle era. I'm not sure why they haven't done John Byrne. That's a topic for another day.
I do have it. Apparently what they did was when they scanned the pages, they did them too small.
Idiots. Anyways, we need John Byrne as well, Omnis. So this collects Action Comics 647 to 658, Adventures of Superman 461 to 471, and Superman issues 38 to 48. The annuals would probably be annuals 3 and 4 during that time. And this could be an episode topic, which we've discussed in the past. In the 1980s, annuals were actually good.
Yeah, they were.
You wanted to read them.
Yeah.
They were excellent a lot of times. And during this era, some of those Superman annuals were pretty good. I'm not saying all of them were excellent, but the first two that Byrne had written the first one, Roger Stern and Ron Frenz did the second one, as we talked about on our last episode with Ron Frenz. Those were a lot of fun and great creative teams. Like, you weren't getting... Nowadays, it kind of feels like you're getting tryout. Let's see how you do. This is a tryout. Let's test you out.
Yeah, that was very much
and
how
it kind of
went.
feels like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Return from Exile, I think that's what the title should be. Those are the issues that would be included in it. You already have a purchaser here. It's coming out, guys. I have an insider scoop. I feel it. We're going to do it.
It's going to have to happen because we need that gap filled. And, you know, I do personally like to have my gaps filled.
What the heck is a gap for if not to be filled?
Exactly.
Did you have some bonus picks that we can save for next time?
Yes, I've got a whole laundry list. I was just trying not to be too pretentious and wanky, but yeah. I was really going like, oh, come on, you knob. Do you really want that? Yeah. But maybe next time. How about you? Have you got spares?
I have spares, but I think this time around, some of my spares are things that I've mentioned before. So I'll let more time go by if it hasn't been reprinted, and I think they will be.
Also, if you wonder what we have mentioned before, jump back in time on our previous episodes list and see what we've chosen before. Some of it is stuff that you'll see that is now real. It's become manifest. So yeah,
a lot of it has.
Yeah. Like, I've ticked through Superman, Warworld, Justice League, Dark, Wonder Woman, Stormwatch, Warlord, Action Comics Rebirth, Spectre by Ostrander, Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns, Wonder Woman by Rucker. They're all a thing now, but there's still a lot down there that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So go back and have a look at what they are.
Warlord.
Yeah, Warlord's a big shock. Yeah.
Do it. So if they did Warlord, anything is possible.
Yeah.
Power of Shazam. Let's go.
Let's do it.
That'll be a compendium.
Yeah, blatantly.
Everybody who's been with us during this episode, We appreciate it. Hanging out with us on the live, commenting, giving us a little bit of your input, as well as the things that we get wrong. You correct us, keep us honest. We appreciate that. Couldn't do it without you. Those watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And of course, visit us at omniversecomics.guide for all the reading orders that Dave puts together with a labor of love, all our creator interviews, and collector item specials. It's all there. Check it out. It's a great website. Dave.
Hello. Oh, I mean,
Always
bye-bye.
a pleasure, my friend. I missed you.
Oh, likewise, dude. We'll have an after-show hug in a minute. Somehow.
Yes, that's right. Somehow. Everybody's been with us. We appreciate you, of course. Be back next week. We got more podcasts for you. And check out that Ron Friends interview. It's pretty cool. Pretty good one.
Very cool.
Check that out.